Sure. Beat it.
Now drop those guns, you fellas. Put your hands in the air. Put 'em up. Now you fellas are going to take the trail back to town. Come on, get going.
Is Snake Eye on the lookout up there?
Yep.
He'll pick that sheriff off as we pass.
Sure.
Long loop you threw, Tim. Looks like you picked a couple of tough ones.
Well, these are the fellas that held up the stage last week. I was just planning to give them a little surprise party, but if you hadn't happened around about the time you did, why, I guess the surprise would have been on me.
Well, listen, I just figured on a little target practice, that was all.
Well, Moody, it looks to me as though you need very little target practice. Well, there's no use entertaining these fellas any longer. It's getting late. Come on, let's take them into town. Come on, you fellas, move out.
Hey, look, fellas. They must be the fellas who fell up the stagecoach.
Yeah. We've got a sheriff that brings in his men all right.
He don't miss. He's the sheriff that is the sheriff. What else?
Well, boss, you got him.
Yes, but if it hadn't been for my friend Moody here, they'd probably got me.
How come?
One of them tried to dry gulch me coming through the gap, but Moody beat him to it.
Oh, shucks, that wasn't nothing.
Come on, fellas.
Nothing to you probably, but my life means something to me. Lock him up, Red.
Get him there.
Couple of tough hombres. Hey, Sheriff?
They certainly are. I'll be glad to see the last of those fellas around this county. Well, I'll see you fellas later. I want to have a little private talk with Moody.
Sure. All right, Sheriff. Fine work, hey, boys?
Yeah, we got you more.
Well, that's efficiency for you.
Moody, I don't exactly know how to thank you for what you did today. I do want you to know I appreciate it. And if I ever get a chance, I'll return that favor.
You don't have to thank me, Tim.
Sheriff, good work. I just heard about it. This county's sure proud of you.
Why, thanks, Judge.
And when their case comes up, we'll put them where they belong, won't we? Huh? You bet we will.
Great character, that judge, isn't it?
He sure is. Well, Tim, I gotta get going back to the ranch.
Well, you sure it's the ranch you're anxious to get back to?
Meaning Jane?
Well, I didn't know. I thought maybe, well, you know.
No, Tim. Guess I ain't got much chance with Miss Jane.
Well, I thought you had the inside track.
Old man figures his daughter's too good for a ranch foreman.
Well, it sort of looks then as though it's kind of up to you to convince the old man that you are good enough for it.
Tim, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going out there right now and have a showdown with him.
Well, Moody, you You know I always wish you the best of luck.
Mr. Herrick, don't you understand? Jane and I love each other.
I've told you for the last time to keep away from Jane.
Yeah? I suppose you don't think a ranch foreman's good enough for your daughter.
What I think is my business. But I warned you for the last time. And if I catch you talking to her again, I'll run you out of the country.
Well, let me warn you. If you ever dare start trying to run me out of the country, be the last thing you do on this earth.
Woody Pearson killed old man Herrick last night.
Herrick?
Yes, 2 of the boys found him standing over his body with a gun.
Self-defense?
Self-defense, plain murder, shot him in the back.
Did he get away?
No, the boys are bringing him in now.
And yellow cur.
I never did like that guy.
Moody Pearson's murdered old man Herrick.
I don't like your brand of joke, Fred. That's not funny.
I ain't joking, Tim. They're bringing Moody in now. One of the hands of the ranch just rode in. Seen him do it. He's over at the saloon now.
What are we waiting for, man?
Go back, you fellas. Remember, this man's my prisoner.
Yeah, and he's your friend, too.
Well, friend or no friend, my job's to maintain law and order.
We're here to get justice for our old friend Dan Herrick.
Well, just remember that Dan Herrick was my friend, too. And I'm here to see that Moody gets a fair trial.
There's only one law for murderers.
That's a rope around his neck.
The man is innocent until he's proven guilty.
Innocent? Like a rattlesnake.
Say, Lang, it just occurs to me that last year when you were up for cattle stealing, you did a lot of hollering about innocence. A lot of other familiar faces around here, too. And it might be well to bear in mind that it takes 12 men to find a man guilty. Until that time, he's innocent.
Come on, get it on.
Sure we're fast on the draw out there, Tim.
I have to be.
Tim. I want you to know one thing. I didn't kill Herrick.
I believe you. But I only hope we can prove you didn't. But you can't sit back quietly as you did yesterday. Remember, man, you're on trial for your life. You've got to get up in that courtroom and tell your story just as you've told it to me.
They won't believe me, Tim.
Oh, of course they'll believe you. And remember this, old man, that I'm standing behind you to the very limit.
Court's ready to open, Tim.
All right. We'll be right along.
Have to.
It's customary going into court. You put them on.
Hey, Tom. How do you think that rope will feel around your neck, Moody?
Moody, it's terrible. What will they do to you?
I'm all right, honey. It's you I'm worried about.
In the case of the county of Bandera Gap versus Moody Pearsons, the court is now in session.
Your Honor, I have a request to make of the court. Now, I realize that it's not in accordance with the usual procedure, but I'd like permission to act as his counsel in this case if the court has no objection.
I can see no objection to that. Hank Williams, take the stand. In this quarrel, did the defendant ever threaten Mr. Herrick?
Yes. He said if Mr. Herrick ever so much as threatened to run him out of the country, that it'd be the last thing he ever did on this earth.
The witness is yours, Sheriff.
Just where were you when you heard Moody make this threat against Mr. Herrick?
Why, I was leaning against the bunkhouse.
Were you there all afternoon?
No, sir.
Well, where were you the rest of the time?
Well, I was in town.
Oh, you're in town. As a matter of fact, you were in the Longhorn Saloon.
Yes.
And drinking all afternoon.
Well, I had a couple of drinks.
Oh, you had a couple of drinks. Well, you never stopped at 2 drinks in your life. Everybody in the county knows that. How many drinks did you have?
Well, I had 4 or 5.
4 or 5, or 5 or 6, or maybe 6 or 7, or maybe a bottle or 2. And after all the liquor that you consumed that afternoon, you're going to try to convince this court that you could hear a conversation that took place between Moody and Mr. Herrick and remember every word of it?
Yes, sir.
That's all, Your Honor.
Miss Herrick, please take the stand. Miss Jane, did you hear the quarrel between the defendant and your father?
Only the end.
Did Moody threaten your father?
Well,
Didn't he tell your father it would be the last thing he would ever do if he tried to run him out of the country?
Yes, he did, but you know he didn't mean it. Well, he wouldn't do anything to harm my father. They were good friends, only because of the trouble about me. Moody told me that he was going to go away and get an outfit of his own and then come back for me in order to prove to my father that he was more than a foreman.
Tell us, Miss Jane, did Moody leave the ranch?
Yes, sir.
How long was he gone?
Well, until early morning. You see, I followed him, but he brought me back to the house.
Where did you leave him?
Well, I dismounted at the bunkhouse because, well, if my father was home, I didn't want him to know that I'd been away.
Did you leave your horse standing there?
Well, Moody took it.
Took it where?
Said he was going to take it to the corral.
And did he take the horse to the corral?
Oh, I don't know.
Tell us what happened next.
Oh, I can't.
You're a state's witness, Miss Jane. I must insist on your answering my question.
Well, all I know is that I heard 2 shots. And then I ran out to the yard. Bud and Hank were there. And Moody was holding my father in his arms. And my dad was... Oh, I can't.
I'll plead guilty to the charge of murder if you want it, but stop persecuting that girl. Damn you.
That's all, unless the sheriff has any questions.
How many shots did you hear?
2.
You didn't by any chance hear the sound of a horse galloping away, did you?
Why, I thought I did.
Well, when you arrived at the scene, did you see any man riding away from that scene?
No. Oh, Jim, I don't remember anything about it. I only know that Moody didn't do it. I know he didn't do it.
Oh, I understand. I won't ask you any more questions. That's all, Your Honor.
Well, I watched her going towards the house and started walking the horses down towards the corral, and I heard a shot. Jumped off and ran over there and found Mr. Herrick lying on the ground, been shot in the back. As I looked up, it man running over there towards his horse. I fired at him, but missed.
Did you find any evidence around the corral? Any bits of evidence that might lead to the identification of him?
Now, boys didn't give me time to do that.
That's all, Your Honor.
This is your gun, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
There were 2 bullets missing from it. How do you account for that?
One was a shot I fired at the bandit down at Bandera Gap. The other was a shot I fired at the man running away from Mr. Herrick's body.
Isn't it common practice to reload your gun immediately?
Yes, sir, it is. I guess in the excitement of helping Tim, I neglected to do so.
Can you describe the man you saw running away?
No, sir, I can't. It was much too dark for that. Best I can say was, well, tall, heavy set.
That will be all. If you have anything to say to the jury, please proceed.
Now, all the evidence that's been introduced here is merely circumstantial. In my opinion, doesn't warrant your bringing in any other verdict than innocent. And I appeal to you not as his friend, but as his counsel, to weigh well the evidence that's been submitted. And I promise you, gentlemen, as sheriff of this county, that I will never rest until the real criminal is brought to justice. Your Honor, we rest the case.
Gentlemen, you have heard all the evidence. You are to weigh it carefully. You must return one of 2 verdicts, either guilty or not guilty.
Gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
We have.
What is your verdict?
Guilty.
Sheriff, you will remand your prisoner to jail until tomorrow at 1 p.m., when he will appear before me for sentence.
Oh, Jane.
Tim, do you suppose I could see Moody before he goes up for...
Well, I don't see why not. Here, sit here, won't you? I'll go get him. Jane's out in the office. I'm going to let you see her. I wish you'd try to get her to go away for a while. You know, you're coming up for sentence today, and, well, anything might happen.
You're right, Tim.
Moody. Moody, I know you didn't do it. They mustn't do anything to you, Moody. I'm sorry, Moody. I didn't mean to give way like that. Guess my nerves must be pretty ragged.
Well, of course, you've been through a terrible ordeal. Won't you sit down? By the way, Jane, don't you think it would do you a lot of good to go away for a little while, to get away from these surroundings?
Well, honey, it would be better.
Well, some relative or close friend you could go visit for a time?
I have an aunt at the old ranch at Mescatel. You remember, Moody, Devil Spur, where I was born?
Yes, Don, I do.
Is that where you lived before you moved up here?
Why, yes. My aunt is living there now.
Tell me, Jane, did your father have any enemies around that part of the country?
Well, I was too young to remember. But I do know he was having trouble. That's why we had to go north.
What are you getting at, Tim?
Well, just a kind of a hunch. You know, you sometimes find strange footprints on an old stamping ground.
Meaning?
Oh, I'm just throwing a long loop. I'm going outside now. And when I come back, I hope Jane will have made up her mind to go away for a while.
Yeah, look at it. Well, the jury found him guilty. Yeah, he shot him in the back. And he ought to be on. You're right.
Sure. And if the sheriff don't hang him pretty, we can hang him, can't we?
No.
Say, we just got time for another drink. Come on, boys, let's go get it.
Any luck, Red?
I found these at the base of the tree, about 50 feet from where Herrick fell.
Well, say, that is something. Red, the man we're looking for has a nervous habit of breaking matchsticks. We've got to find that man. We've got to work fast. That mob is hungry for Moody's hanging. Now, you ride back to the ranch and see if you can pick up a trail leading away from there. I'll try and stall off the execution.
Right.
Why, they're ready to lynch you. Well, look, they're coming for you. You've got to get away, Moody. Hurry, Johnny. It's the only thing in the world to do. Hurry.
Well, let's go get him, fellas. Wait a minute. That's right. Stand and stare and give him a chance to get a good start.
Some of you men get on your
Just a
horses.
minute, men. Get 6 ropers with fast horses. And when you catch Moody, well, the sheriff won't be anywhere around to interfere with the hanging. Get your horses out.
Not so fast. You can select the riders. But if any posse leaves this town, I'm the one that's going to lead it.
Where, on a blind trail? It's a cinch you didn't let him escape with any intentions of capturing him again.
Well, I'm the sheriff of this county.
But not the kind we wanted. You started this fight so your friend could get away. What?
You deliberately helped a convicted prisoner to escape.
I did nothing of the kind.
You've disgraced yourself as an officer of the law.
You're right, Judge.
Well, I've been sheriff of this county for 10 years. Have I ever failed in my duty since I've worn that star?
You'd betray anyone with that yellow friend of yours? Let us handle him, Judge.
We'll handle this according to law and order. Tim, I must ask you...
Yes, I know. I know what you're going to ask me. But you won't have to do it. Judge, I've worn that star for a mighty long time. Leaves a sort of a lonesome-looking place on the vest, doesn't it?
Howdy.
Hello, barkeep.
Looks like I had a long ride.
I have. You know, I like a long, cold drink. Oh, thanks.
Hey, Slade. There's a lawman with his badge missing. Just rode in on that horse. He's inside.
Hey, barkeep, set out the red eye. Come on, get a move on you there.
Well, is there anything unusual about my appearance?
Yeah. Looks like you might have been wearing a law badge at one time.
You seem to be pretty well versed in such matters.
Maybe you don't know it, but you gotta have two guns to talk to me like that.
Well, I'm only wearing one. What do you do in a case like that? Now, stick my feet, will you? Now move over there with your friend.
What's going on here? You doing all the shooting?
Yes. Had to shoot down the gun of a fellow trying to draw on me. Friend of yours?
I'm deputy here. If that means anything to you.
Oh.
Looks like you might have worn a badge once yourself.
Well, that might be my business.
Yeah? Figuring to spend some time in our territory?
Well, that might be my business, too.
So? Taggart, take Slade over to the doctor.
Jack, you...
Oh, now go get it wrapped up. If I can be of any help to you, locating the man you might be looking for, just say the word.
Thanks.
The deputy sheriff, and your life ain't plug peso.
That's all the more reason why I'm not riding. You know, I think I'll stay around for a while. You know, I'd like to meet this fellow Slavens.
So you'd like to meet up with Red Slavens, would you? Well, maybe I can arrange that. Turn around. So you're the sheriff that's planning to run this town, huh? Without a badge and one gun. Well, get this. Red Slavens owns this town, and I run it for him. You want to know who I am? I'm Red Slavens' right-hand man. You want to know how I got there? Well, I gunned my way up. Now you hankering to meet him?
That's what I said.
Taking the Slavens, he'll fix him. Shut up, I'm handling this.
Don't move!
Stop! Slavens wants him brought in alive. Follow the road and head him off. I'll stay with him.
Okay. Well, hello, you double-crossing old horse thief.
Sure thought you'd shoot me on sight.
Well, you didn't have me fooled for a minute. But I'm sorry I had to hit you on the jaw.
Oh, and did you hit me? Say, Tim, where's your badge?
Oh, I guess you must have lost it.
You lost it over me. And I'm mighty sorry, Tim.
Forget it. And tell me, what are you doing trailing with this Slavens outfit?
Well, Tim, don't you remember Jane saying her dad had enemies up in this country?
Yeah?
I found out Slavens was running cattle off her dad's old ranch pretty regular, so figured I'd come up here on the inside and keep 'em off.
Well, sounds like a pretty good idea. Have you seen Jane?
No, I'm too new with the outfit.
Well, where's this ranch?
It's 2 miles up the road, Tim. Called the Double Spur. Say, listen, Tim, you've got to hide out someplace. Why don't you go up there? I know Jane would like to see you.
Well, I might just do that.
Fine. Tim, I got to be getting along. They may get suspicious. I'll try and see you just as often as I can.
All right, old-timer. Adios.
Good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you, too, Jane. Well, what an attractive place you have here.
Yes, but first of all, tell me about Moody. Where is he? Have you heard from him?
Well, I just left him.
You just left him? Is he close by?
Well, he's not far off.
Oh. And he didn't come to see me.
Well, he couldn't very well. See, if he were seen around the ranch here, why, Slavins might become suspicious of him.
Who's mentioning slaving round my ranch?
Oh, Auntie, you've heard about Longloop Laramie. Well, here he is.
Well, how do?
I heard about you, Sheriffin, and standing by Moody and Jane. But just what do you want around here?
Oh, maybe 3 square meals?
Don't lie to me, young man. You got schemes. I heard you mentioning slaving. Now, just what do you want?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, what I really want's a job riding for your outfit. But without pay, remember.
Without pay?
If I can find some logical excuse for riding this range, I can keep in touch with Slavin's gang and maybe ferret out the real murderer.
Figured out a tall job for yourself. However, that's your business. You're hired. Go down to the bunkhouse and tell that good-for-nothing foreman of mine that I said so. But not to be bossed by him. Reckon that'll settle his hash.
She's a caution, but pure as gold.
Looks like an able-minded woman. I guess I'd better be going down talking to that foreman if he's the fellow I've got to work with. I'll be seeing you.
He certainly will.
I didn't hear you knock, stranger.
I suppose you're the foreman around here.
Well, what if I am?
I'm Tim Laramie, the new hand.
New hand? There isn't enough work around here for the hands we've got.
Well, from the looks of things around here, there should be plenty of work to be done.
Are you trying to tell me my business?
No. Because if I were, I'd tell you to get these cowpunchers out that are sleeping around this bunkhouse and maybe mend some of the fences that needed around this ranch.
Say, who are you to tell me how to run this ranch? I got enough.
Shake, partner. You sure call these time. Yeah, that half-breed's probably on the way to Muscatel right now to tell Slavins about you.
Slavins? Well, what's he got to do with Slavins?
Well, he's been seen pretty regular trailing with this gang.
Well, in that case, I'm going to ride into town and see how he takes the news. I'll see you boys later.
Good luck.
Come on, boys. Everybody up the bar. Laughing like Slavins is buying for the house.
Thought I told you to keep riding.
Well, what if you did?
Not tell a man to ride a mean ride. We don't want you around this part of the country.
Well, who's going to run me out?
I am. And if you want to start any trouble, just reach for your gun.
Fine chance I'd have, wouldn't I? You think I'm fool enough to draw against three of you?
So that's it, huh? Get out, you two. I'll take on this fellow alone. Why don't you start something? Watch him, Tim. Sladen's giving the flaming orders to wipe you out. Well, go on and start.
Why, do you think I'd try to pull a gun against this crowd? But if it's fight you want, come on outside.
Oh, so you're yellow, huh? Now, what's the argument? This sheriff guy's trying to get tough. Go on, get yourself a drink, I'll take care of him. I'm laughing red slaving. What you got to say for yourself, sheriff man?
I've heard of you, Slavin. What I've heard isn't exactly complimentary. They say you're bad, clear through.
Yeah? You got nerve coming here telling me that.
Well, I had to have nerve to even come here.
I admire your style. And I ought to have you shot.
You ought to have me shot?
Yeah.
What's the matter? Haven't you got nerve enough to try it yourself?
You have got nerve. Well, there ain't one of my gang dare say that to Red Slavin. You outgunned Slade. Say, how'd you like taking his place?
I'm afraid your game's just a little bit risky.
My game or my morals?
You know, one of these days, someone is going to crash down on you. In fact, I might even do it myself.
Yeah? And where would you be?
Oh, well, your gang might wipe me out, but with you gone, there wouldn't be any gang.
You couldn't draw fast enough to kill me. I've never met my equal in this section, nor elsewhere.
Have you ever thought over the possibility of somebody shooting you in the back?
Shooting me in the back? Oh! It's shooting me in the back, eh? Well, now, here's your chance. Go on. Well, go on.
Of course, I think you're just a little bit crazy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Crazy. Sure, I'm crazy. But I'm not afraid to die. You know, there's just two things in life worth living for. One of them is to kill or get killed, and the other is to get revenge.
Sounds like the nature of a mad dog.
Yeah. And I'd advise you to keep out of the path of a mad dog. Beat it.
I will go, but I'll come back. And when I do, you might get a chance to prove just how fast you really are.
I'll kill the man who guns him. He's mine. He's got nerve. Yeah.
Man.
What's all the shooting about, boss?
Well, Fleming and that half-breed pal of his tried to dry gulch me. Come on. I ought to finish you.
Oh, please, Mr. Tim. Mr. Fleming, he made me.
Yes, but they were Slavin's orders, weren't they? Now you can go back into town and tell Slavin for me that he's apt to die sooner than he expects. Put him on that horse and start him for town. I think I got the other one. Get out of here.
He's done for, boss.
Look. Looks like a dead man.
I brought you Pete Fleming.
What's happened?
You know, and so does Slavin.
Why Slavin?
Because Fleming was Slavin's man.
You don't say. Why, I never imagined that.
No.
No. What'd you bring that body here for?
So you could turn it over to the undertaker. And I'll be waiting in your office until you get back. And when you do, I've got a lot to talk over with you.
What about?
About you and Slavin. You're riding a pretty slippery trail.
Pete, get that out of here. You're sitting in my chair, stranger.
Sit down.
You got a heap of nerve, ain't you?
Jacqueline, what do you think I'm doing around this part of the country? Has it ever occurred to you that I might be down here looking you over?
Checking up on me? Well, no reason for that. I'm doing my duty.
Well, I happen to know that you're working for Slavin.
That ain't so. A lot of you tin-horn sheriffs that come riding into other men's territories, listening to all these men shoot off their blab. I'm an officer of the law, and I'm doing my duty. I ain't working for Slavin or no other outfit.
Pete Fleming told me different.
Fleming always was a liar.
Men don't lie when they're going over the big divide.
If Fleming was alive, I'd make you prove that.
I've got a confession from Pete Fleming, signed by witnesses. Jacqueline, I told you were riding a mighty slippery trail. You're in a pretty tough spot right now. There's only one way out of it that I can think of.
What's that?
They come through clean.
Well, if I hadn't have gone over with Slavin's outfit, Slavin would have killed me.
Well, now, maybe I can find a way out of this mess for you.
Oh, if you could. Yes, if you could. Well, I'd listen to reason.
You're going to help me get Slavin. You're going to send word to Slavin to meet you at the Oasis Friday noon.
And then what?
Then I'm coming into town with some of these cowmen, and we're going to take Slavin and his outfit right into camp. Now, the situation in this county has got so bad that it's just one or two things. It's either the cowmen or Slavin's and his crew. There's no room in this county for both of them.
Maybe I could help you out if I made a list of men that we could trust.
Well, that's a great idea, because I don't know many of these fellows around here, but no. I haven't got the time to do it right now. Tell you what I'll do. Suppose I come in town tomorrow, Thursday. I'll meet you at the Oasis tomorrow noon. Then we'll make all our final plans. What do you say?
Yes.
But remember, not a word of this to anybody. This whole thing has got to be done under cover.
Of course.
You get the idea?
Yes.
Good. Then I'll count on you.
Yes.
But, Tim, I had to come and warn you. Slavins will be at the Oasis at noon. Why, sent me to tell Jacklin. He's out to kill you.
Well, then the trick worked.
Trick?
Yes, Jacklin told him.
Told him what?
Oh, Moody, don't you understand? It's today, not tomorrow I'm having the cowmen gather. Today.
You mean to tell me that... You sly fox. Oh, Tim, but listen. Watch him. He's lightning fast on the draw.
Moody, that's my job. At least I'll give Mr. Slavins something to laugh at.
Yeah, and I'm trailing right with you, too. Every minute. Well, I guess I better get back to Muscatel. They'll all be looking for me.
Well, couldn't you wait about 5 minutes to see Jane?
You know I want it.
Well, then come on, I'll go over with you.
The cowmen are meeting at Twin Oaks in an hour.
Well, about how many men do you imagine will be there?
About 30.
Good work, boys. I guess you better be on your way, then.
Here's luck, Tim.
Thanks. You boys be riding now.
Okay, Tim.
You all set, boys? Tim's on his way to town. You know what you have to do. All right, let's go. Hello, Lazy Y. Come on.
Looking for somebody?
Not exactly.
Thought you might be looking for Jacklin. Queer thing about Jacklin. He always skins out of town when there's a killing to be pulled.
Was there somebody due for a killing?
What do you think, Laramie?
Well, I'd never be surprised.
Pretty cool, aren't you?
Don't suppose you knew that there was a move afoot to wipe me out?
Yes?
Yeah. And you're back of it. Tomorrow, you and the cattlemen around here were planning to outfox me. Well, it's a great idea. In fact, it's so good that I decided to use it myself. Suppose you saw my gang outside. After I've finished with you, we're going to clean up this territory once and for all. You were right, Laramie. This country ain't big enough for two outfits. What have you got to say for your smart little plans now, eh?
Sort of looks as though something had gone wrong with certain plans, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, Laramie, I sort of hate to finish you off. You've sure got nerve. Give me a match, bartender. Thanks. Satisfied?
Meaning?
Meaning that you're down here looking for Herrick's murderer. Well, you found him.
You're talking pretty free, aren't you?
Why not? You're never going to get out of here to do any talking. So you see, I had an old grudge to settle with Dan Herrick, and it was just my usual luck that Moody was caught after I shot Herrick.
Oh, Moody! Hold it! Let me handle this.
Let him pull his gun, Laramie. I can beat him to the draw.
This game's going to be played out between you and me. And I always give a man a break. I never draw first. There goes the first of your men.
So you really think you outfoxed Red Slavens, eh? Yeah.
Wait, Slavens! You're not going out there.
The hell I'm not.
We're sure going to miss you, Tim.
If it hadn't been for you, I don't know how we would have gotten out of all our difficulties.
Well, I'm glad I was able to bring happiness to somebody.
What a friend.